In this video, I want to talk about why scaling may not be the best option for your brand. I mean, that's true. Everybody's out there talking about, going from a 2 to a 15x ROAS while increasing their spend by like 2000%. Look, you don't necessarily need that to be successful, and you might not want that, which is totally fine. So let me show you an alternative today to scaling and what could you do instead of focusing on scale to make sure you still are more than profitable when it comes to acquisition, retention, and just your business as a whole. My name is Justin, I'm the founder of Wizo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, as well as turn on post notifications to be one of the first to know about these cutting edge e-commerce marketing tips posted on the channel every week. So to get straight to the point, you may not want to scale, and that's okay. We are seeing two very distinct objectives and goals within the business owners and brand owners we've had the chance to partner with over the span of the past 2 years, since being in the e-commerce marketing space at my agency. So on the one hand, you have those business owners who are hungry for scale. They want to scale, they want to get some more revenue, they want to grow the business, and those are ready to spend and invest into ads, and they want to be able to maximize their ad spend while still being profitable. That is, I would say, honestly, 50% of the people. That's about 1 out of 2 people, 1 out of 2 business owners that we work with. It's probably the goal that they have. And on the other hand, you have these business owners where, look, they've already put aside a budget for marketing. They're not really to increase that budget a lot more than what they initially planned for. They want to keep it that way, but they want to get the best results possible. So on the one end, some people are maximizing spend because they want to maximize volume. And on the other end, you have people who want to limit the spend and to maximize the return on investment, which are both two very good ways to approach acquisition paid advertising. Though obviously the strategies will differ a little bit. Scaling is obviously a little bit harder to scale. There are a lot more challenges that come when scaling. You might tap out your audiences. Creative fatigue is going to hit sooner. Then there comes, how much do you want to scale? Do you scale horizontally? Do you scale vertically, right? Do you just duplicate your campaigns? Do you increase spend? A lot of challenges that come with spending. Whereas maintaining yourself, it's all about cracking the code, finding something that works, and doubling down on that. And it's always micro, 0.1% adjustments to make sure that you get this slight increase in revenue. And honestly, the main thing to keep in mind when you're an e-commerce brand owner or when you're working with e-commerce brand is to try and establish from the start, what is the objective? Why do you want to run ads? Why are you switching agencies? Why are you hiring a new agency? Or, from a marketer standpoint, it's basically, why is this client coming up with you, right? So we made the mistake in the past to assume that most brands that we work with wanted to scale. I mean, quite honestly, we just assumed that every brand owner wanted to scale. I was under the impression, like, why would people not want to make more money? And I think a lot of people think that way. It's like, why would you want to limit the amount of money you can make? Well, a lot of people don't see it that way. It's more like, look, we're comfortable with where the business is at right now. We just want to maximize our investment. We want to get the best out, of each dollar that we invest. And again, they don't necessarily want to triple the business tomorrow morning. They just want, again, those micro improvements to get the business to a better place. And it'll all depend on the brand owners. We got brand owners, they're making, they've surpassed, they're making close to the $1 million mark. And at that point, some of them are cool with that amount. They don't really want to push for more. They want to push for better. And better doesn't always mean more. So that's why we're focusing on, again, getting these better ad results, focusing also more on brand image. So we're focusing more on the type of ad placements that they have, the creatives that they have, making sure it's all on brand. When you think about it, when you want to scale, it's like going to the gym and wanting to bulk. If you want to bulk as fast as possible, it's basically just like wanting to scale as fast as possible. And the only way for you to really bulk as fast as possible is to do dirty bulk. You eat a lot, you don't necessarily watch everything you eat, so you gain a lot of fat. And then when you want to cut down afterwards, you have to trim the fat. Well, that's usually the case, right? With a lot of brands that are at a pretty healthy level, they have a pretty healthy shape, and they want to grow, they want to get better, they want to get bigger, but they don't want to do dirty bulk. They don't want to just scale rapidly, fast. They don't want things to break, because again, that's what happens when you scale. Things do break. either on the operational side or the supply chain side from an e-commerce brand standpoint, Or from the advertising standpoint, you might start, again, tapping out your audience. There's many things that can happen and break at a certain scale. So it depends, again, what type of bulk do you want to do? What's your timeline? What's your time frame? I read this book recently called The Psychology of Money. Very great book. And it was talking about, playing your own game, that people always try and play each other's games. So when it comes to investing, a lot of people usually they make fast and impulsive decisions with their investments because they're not trying to play their own game. They're trying to play by other people's rules, right? Because if you think about day trading, it's much different than long-term investing, right? If you're trying to invest money into the stock market and get a return, within 10, 20, 30 years, it's a much different game than somebody who's trying to get a return today under investment. And it's the same thing with ads. Look, are you trying to get a return today, tomorrow, or are you just trying to build a better brand for the future and maximize your returns? So that's why do not look at all these other brands out there who are scaling super fast and tripling their business next month. You might not want that, and that's totally cool. Play your own game. Let your partners, let your agencies know what game you're playing, and just make sure everybody's on the same page so that way they can follow you on that route. As you probably heard it before, all roads lead to Rome, and that's basically it in that case. Whatever way you pick, you want to go for more maximizing ROAS or increasing scale, you'll probably end up at the same place anyways. Might just be a different time horizon, might just be, again, different techniques, but you'll end up with a similar brand in the end. So there's no better way than the other. Just, again, be clear on what your goal is, be clear on your time horizon, and make sure you stay aligned with that as you keep growing. On that note, if you're an e-commerce brand or store owner making at least $20,000 to $30,000 a month with your brand and wanting to either maximize ROAS or scale your brand, I invite you to click on the first link in the description down below and book in a very short 15-minute call with our team. On that call, we'll take a look at your brand and see if you're a good fit for our e-commerce marketing program. And if that's the case, we'll help you grow through paid ads, retention, ad creatives, and more. And if not, worst comes to worst, we'll just leave you with a free action plan to implement on your own. So make sure you check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.